CAGbag. What do we got here? We got a few here. Sold by Ronnie writes in and goes, what can Xbox do to right the ship? They keep stepping on rakes, one step forward and two steps back. Is there a solution?
Make
More
games. Make games with all the licenses you have.
There's an instant solution that they should do in June when they have their thing, whatever their summer of games press conference is going to be. They need to end that by dumping. It doesn't have to be everything, but you need to dump some Activision games onto Game Pass. You have to do it. You can't sit on this anymore. You've reached that point. If you do not end that press conference by saying, here's some Spyro, here's some Crash, here's some Call of Duty, then
why?
Seriously, yeah, why? You've reached that stress point where you have literally nothing else, but you have something in your pocket that's going to make people forget that you have nothing. And that's the important thing. You need to make people forget you have nothing.
They're not doing that. In fact,
they're not doing it like Sony's doing it by remastering games. Right? Like they're like, we're gonna fill in this space, we're gonna remaster some games. We don't care that they only released 2 years ago. here's the remaster of this. Like Microsoft's not even doing that. Like what?
Well, Sony got lucky. Hello, little dog. Sony got lucky with Helldivers right now, because that's their game where they don't even have to worry too much about the right now because they have a right now. So people aren't even thinking about where's Sony's big game, because they have a little game that's their big game.
I think they're still thinking about it on Sony's side too.
Like, I'm sure Sony is thinking about it. I just mean the populace isn't thinking about it as much because there is a something. The problem right now is that Xbox has a nothing, but they have things in their pocket. It's not like they have to remaster anything.
So much, like, I don't know. I think that they were trying to compete against Sony so much that they like didn't look at like more of the Nintendo model of like, we have all these IPs and we're just going to like put out games, like, right? Like, even if it's a remaster of a game, here's still a game that you're gonna like. And they're not doing it. Like, there's like, they did like,
they don't even have to do a remaster. They just have to say, here's not last year's Call of Duty. Here's Call of Duty from the year before that.
They even have that going for them.
And that doesn't need to be
I'd still call it remastered though. Just throw a remaster. Even if you did nothing, just throw a remaster down here.
Here's Call of Duty. I don't even remember what that one was called, but here's Call of Duty, whatever it was called. Here you go. Here's that. Here's Crash Team Racing and a Call of Duty game.
Even without the Activision stuff though, they've been sitting on so much IP, like all of that rare stuff that they've had for years.
That's a whole other nothing.
Hardly anything with all this time. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
we're even getting the negative Game Pass articles now. Like, like the quality and selection is not as good as it used to be. Nothing's coming out.
Not nearly. And yet they have the games. They just need to flip the switch. It's it can't be much more than that. It's not like they have to add them into the digital marketplace. They're already there. It must. I don't know. I don't understand.
Right. All right. Jason writes in. He says he's picked up the ping pong habit. Is there any way to get better besides volunteering at a ping pong club? I want to beat all my kids, not just the youngest. Well, volunteering is not what you want to do. You want to take a lesson at a ping pong club, but not everybody has access to that. That's the number one thing. If you can go to a ping pong club and take a lesson from a coach or more than one lesson, that's the best. If you can't do that, then go on YouTube and just look up beginner table tennis tips and you'll just watch someone do the form. It's like if you were trying to learn golf. You can't learn the golf form really just from like watching people play on TV. You need to see some sort of instructional video or take instruction from a coach. That's all you got to do. Ian writes in and he says, should I go to the Jeff Keighley Summer Game Fest? I never got to go to E3. He's got to pay for his flight plus a $70 ticket. And it's a 1-day trip.
I'm going to say no.
How could it meet those price expectations? It would be difficult.
I mean, if you had another reason to be in LA, if there's something else you really want to see there,
homelessness.
Is this like Summer Game Fest is just still like trailers, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Although I did watch a cool TikTok about the Magic Castle Hotel today that made me go, "Oh, that's cool. I would stay there."
Wait,
So
what?
maybe that's
But
in
that's-
LA.
Is that Randy Pitchford's place?
No, it's part of the Magic Castle restaurant. Does he own the Magic Castle restaurant? No. Whatever. Restaurant and club. So, but that looked cool. So maybe you look that up.
I'm looking up Summer Game Fest right now just to see like.
I'm pretty sure Randy Pitchford bought the Magic Castle.
That
Did he
sounds
buy the Magic
familiar. Magic
Look it up.
Castle.
I wouldn't
Randy.
be surprised if he performed there, but then
Yep.
again, nothing.
No, I'm pretty sure he bought it.
He did.
Really?
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
sad. Oh man.
Did I just ruin that for you?
I mean, maybe a little. I don't know.
It sounds like it. I don't know. It's complicated. I can't read about it now.
Yeah,
To
exactly.
answer this guy's question, no. I can't imagine that it's going to be worth a trip to go to Summer Game Fest. I think you're just sitting in an auditorium watching Jeff Keighley on a stage and standing in front of videos, right?
I mean, if it depends on what your flight cost is. Like, if you want to go and hang out with other gamers or whatever, and then like, yeah, hang around LA, it doesn't seem that bad. But
Yeah, LA's good.
it's not
Although
going to be E3.
Randy
Mm.
Pitchford claims to be preservation minded with his ownership of the Magic Castle. He wants to keep it as original as possible and maintain it. So I guess I'll give him a pass from other nonsense.
Is that a place to watch magic be performed?
You've never heard of the Magic Castle in LA?
No.
Yeah, it's like it used to be like an exclusive club where only magicians were allowed to be members.
Okay.
Exclusive.
Exclusive club for
Right.
magicians.
Uh-huh.
And like you had to know somebody who knew somebody to get a table there, and you would go and you would have dinner, and magicians walk around and do like close-up magic while you're eating. And there's also like a main stage with a big magic, like real magic shows, but you had to like, it was like a secret. You had to like, again, you had to like know somebody to get in, to get a reservation. It was like a whole thing.
You have to know Randy
there was a lot
Pitchford
of
to get in.
there was a lot of secrecy around it, and I think there still is. But that was like the whole thing, to be like, oh, you're not a real magician until you're a member of the Magic Castle, kind of thing, like David Copperfield and Penn and Teller. And I remember the big one, because this is, I'm a 90s kid. I remember it was like a big deal that Doogie Howser, when he was on Neil Patrick Harris, when he was on Doogie Howser, was like became the youngest member of the Magic Castle.
He's a magician too?
He's a magician, yes.
What
he's a
can't he
magician.
do?
Exactly. So I remember that when I was a kid, and that's probably why I was like, oh my God, I always wanted to go there. And then I saw a thing today about the hotel that I didn't even know there was a hotel that's like across the street. But
Now you really want to go.
now I kind of really want to go. The hotel is weird. The hotel has a phone next to the pool, and when you pick up the phone and you just say, yeah, I'd like, a cherry popsicle, a guy walks out with a silver tray and he hands you a popsicle. But it's only popsicle delivery. It's only popsicles, and it's by the pool.
What?
Yeah. It's weird.
That is weird. All right.
I know.